Hello, everyone. We will be with you soon. We had some technical difficulties, so we had to repost the show, reschedule the show. We were starting the show, and then something went wrong. Hello, Tina and May. The show will start in just a few minutes, and I hope everybody will come back. Technical difficulties. That's what it was. So, we're happy you're here, and we'll get started right away. Hello, really, Charlie. We had some technical difficulties, but we are almost ready to launch. We'll be with you in a moment. Thanks for coming back. Hey, we're here. Oh my God, technical problems.
It was a struggle, but we're here.
Ooh, so sorry. Even we have mishaps.
We often have mishaps.
It doesn't take anything except press one wrong button. That's all it takes.
That's what it was. One button. Well, greetings, everyone.
Woo,
This is
boy.
I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I am Anthony Cordova.
Whew.
Still alive. Here we are. It's the stress of doing two shows, moving from Studio One. No, Studio. See, we can't even keep track. Studio 3 to Studio 1. Yes. But we got it now. We got it now.
We got it. I think we should welcome the people who are here.
Yes.
We have May. We have Ashley. We have Dana.
Hi, Dana.
We have Really Charlie.
Hi, Really Charlie.
And us.
We have a small audience because
we confused everyone.
Technical difficulty. One. Wow. Isn't that a trip?
Yep.
Well, maybe they'll, come back and see that the show is going on and all of that. But otherwise, yay, let's do our show. It'll be like old times.
Which old times?
It'd be like old times from the regular podcast where, we couldn't interact with our audience. And now this is actually this.
That's not.
This is
we can still interact.
This is an intimate setting. Yes, it's an intimate setting. Yes, that's what it is.
Yes,
gather around, everybody getting close. It's just us.
It's just us.
So
why don't we get to our topic?
Why don't we do that, Jill?
Tonight, we thought we would talk about know when to stay. People often talk about, and we have talked about, when to run.
Yes, run.
When to leave that relationship. But tonight, we want to talk about reasons to stay.
Yeah.
So you go first.
That's a good idea. Well, when we're talking about, and this can go for any committed relationship. Any really committed relationship. So if you're married, if you're living together, if you've been together for 5 years, maybe just dating, what's a good reason to break up, and what is not a good reason to break up? So if we're talking marriage, if your partner, let's say, doesn't clean the bathroom to your liking, that's not a good reason to, get rid of this marriage. And what I'm getting at is some of the little things, that you just don't like, that your partner does. If your partner snores, that is not, you snore too, that is not a good reason to leave the relationship. It's not. It's something you can work out, little things like that. Not a good reason
But don't you
to
think
leave.
little things add up to big things?
Well, yes, they can. They can if there's many, 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 many things. But I always say those are the things you need to look at before you get into that committed relationship with a person. And then it saves you a lot of headache. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't
Well, a
want to
lot of people
look.
don't show that until they're in the committed relationship.
Well, you actually need to be looking for it. I mean, and then also don't rush. Don't rush. I got where before Jill, I used to have all these awful relationships. And really, it was mostly because I was moving too fast. I didn't get time. I didn't give myself enough time to see who that person really is. And I also didn't give that person enough time to see who I really was. So it goes both ways. So what do you think about that, Jill?
Well, I think that reasons to leave are your awareness of your own deal breakers. So if you have deal breakers, then again, to your point, you should discuss those ahead of time.
Y- Yeah.
Before you're in that committed relationship, and be on the lookout for that. But the little things, I consider just pet peeves. But I believe that there are reasons to stay if you communicate, those pet
That
peeves, and then maybe those pet peeves, there won't be as many. There's still going to be
yeah.
something probably that they do that gets on your nerves, but we're talking about,
Yeah.
know when to stay.
Yeah. And
So to me, it comes down to deal breakers versus pet peeves.
okay.
Deal
Okay.
breakers, leave.
Okay, but we're talking about reasons to stay.
Pet peeves, stay. But
Not
if you
necessarily.
communicate them, I mean, unless it's something
Well,
major.
well, let's say, for instance, you're in a committed relationship and doesn't matter. Male, female, woman, man, transgender, doesn't matter. Relationships are relationships. So let's say you've been with this person for, I don't know, 4 years.
Well, May has given us an example. She
Okay.
just
Oh,
wrote.
I would love to hear that.
May wrote, "Well, here I am, an expert in this topic. I survived a narcissistic man. Didn't see it until
Ooh,
we were together. Narcissist people
ooh,
do
yeah,
hide
they're
that.
rough. Yeah.
Didn't see it until we were together. And it slowly appeared on a 4-year relationship. He's my ex and still reaches out to me. I've moved on, but he hasn't. Sigh."
Oh well, I'm sorry to hear that, May. Um, However, and I do know that narcissists are like that. They will,
They go out
they
of their way
can,
to deceive you.
yes. So they can hide who they really are for quite some time. So, I'm sorry you had to go through that, and
hmm
I'm sorry
That's no
that
joke.
he's still trying to pull you back in. Okay, so that's not on you. You were being deceived from the beginning. Um, and the
And narcissists have
narcissists,
a way of like making you
yeah.
think you're the bad
Well, they
guy.
do gaslighting. They'll
hmm
gaslight you and everything. But really, May, and I'm saying this from my heart, you actually need to cut off all contact with this person. I mean, all contact. If you have to change your number, your email, all of that,
No, you can block people. You don't have to
whatever you
change your
whatever
number.
you need to do, but disappear from that person because that person can do nothing but drain your energy from you. He's an energy vampire. So whatever good you have in your positive energy, this person will try to take it from you. And they won't be happy until they succeed.
Until they do.
So
But it sounds like she has succeeded, because it's part of, having, believing in yourself and loving yourself enough to leave.
yes.
Because a
yes.
4-year relationship, you think
Yeah,
you're in
that's-
love, you think they love you, but they love themselves more in this case.
yes,
because
that's
they're
how
narcissistic.
Narcissists are. This is true, but you can't maintain any type of a relationship with a narcissist you were in a relationship with. They'll always come back. They'll always,
Or they'll try.
they'll keep coming back at you, trying to get you pulled back in and all of that, because narcissists are very, very good at seeing the people they're in a relationship with. They're very good at seeing that person's weakness.
Well, I wouldn't call it
So-
a weakness.
Well, what I'm saying is,
See someone's heart.
yes,
You
what I'm
know,
saying
when
is
they know that you're loving. They know you're compassionate.
exactly.
So that's not a
exactly.
weakness at all.
No, it's not a weakness, but they perceive it as a weakness. This is how I'm going to get back in. I'm going to play on their kindness. I'm going to play on the relationship we had. I'm going to play on the good times we had. Because you definitely had some good times with a narcissist. In the beginning, you had really good times with a narcissist because they will make themselves seem like the very best person in the world. So you'll have a good time. You'll go great places. You'll do great things. But like May says, he slowly started showing himself or herself. I don't know.
She said a man.
Man, okay, but you start showing himself. So yeah. So know when to stay. That's not a time
That's
to stay.
not a time. Nope.
Narcissists, don't
Nope.
stay with a narcissist.
Nope.
No. So I hope you are able to move on.
She has moved on.
And like keep moving on. Just keep on moving
Further
on.
away.
Yes. Keep on moving on. And May, you don't need anybody unless you want them, but you are great just the way you are.
Just as you are.
So you don't need anybody to complete you. If you meet somebody and they enhance your life, great. But if the moment you see them do anything that's a red flag to you, I'm out.
Any red flag?
Almost. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Because after you've been with someone like that, you need to look really, really closely at a person that you're interested in. And narcissists know what type of people to find.
Like I said, someone very caring,
and
compassionate.
kind. So,
yes.
so May hasn't changed who she is. So
which is good. I applaud you for that.
So
a lot of people lose themselves when they're with narcissists.
So narcissists can spot that. They can spot kind people. They can spot the people they want to manipulate. So they're good at it. Narcissists are for the most part good at what they do. So I hope life is just great for you from this point on. Would be fabulous.
I hope so too.
So narcissists, not a reason to stay.
Nope. I think we should welcome people who have joined us. We have Greg. We still have Really Charlie.
Hey, Greg.
We have Sandra. Of course, we have May. We have Sam I Am. and
Hey,
Dave, and we have
good to
Gabby
see you
and
all.
Ashley.
Cool. Thanks for coming back to our show
It's a do-over.
that
Hit
didn't
one wrong
air
button and it
when it was
stopped
supposed
everything.
to. Yes, yeah, thanks. Do you think anyone in the audience has any good reasons to stay in a bad relationship?
In a bad one?
Yes. Sometimes, let's say people are in committed relationship and they're in it for a long time. Let's say you've been in this relationship for 10 years and your partner does something awful. Or maybe you find out that they've been doing awful things during
All
the
along.
whole
That's usually the
relationship.
case.
Okay. But now you find out. But then you start questioning. Well, we've been together for 10 years. Well, we can work through it. It's we got 10 years in this. We can work through it.
Well, depends on what it was that they did, but
Cheating, infidelity.
sometimes people forgive for that
Yeah.
and stay
Sometimes.
together. I'm not one
Sometimes.
of those people, but but sometimes people can forgive that.
Yeah. Well, yes.
May gave us an update. She says, "Yep, now I'm focused on one person at the moment. Yay!
All
And this
right.
person has saved me from myself when I needed someone to talk to, and he always makes me feel better. He's passionate, kind, tells it like it is, and I appreciate who he is, though he's long distance. Oh, we should talk about that.
We
He's
could have a whole show on
but
long
he's close
distance.
by in my heart.
Well, that's great.
That's beautiful. I'm
I
happy for you.
I am very happy for you. And sometimes after you've been in a bad relationship, this is one case where I could say maybe that long distance relationship this time is a good thing. I usually don't say that. I usually don't say long distance
Well, wait.
relationships are good, but in May's case, I believe this could be a good thing.
Well, for some people, that's what they prefer. They are. We know people who are married and live in different states,
Yes,
and that works for them.
it does work for them. I have to admit, I understand it works for them, but I, I s- I still can't wrap my brain around it. As open minded as I am, I can't imagine us being married and not living together. I just can't
Well, when we
imagine that.
dated, technically, you were long distance
Not
sometimes.
not really. I came home every week.
Yeah,
Every
but you
week I
weren't
came
home
home.
every
And
day.
but we didn't live together. We were dating.
True.
That's okay. And during that time, I did come home during the week, maybe one or two times during the week, and then on the weekend. But we didn't even see each other during the week when I came home. So we didn't have, but we still didn't have a long
I used
distance
to,
relationship.
from the time that I was in high school and started dating up until my 30s, I actually preferred to have long distance relationships because I wanted my space and I did not want to see them every day. Um, but it was, when I wanted the companionship, they were there. So,
Hmm.
so for a while, I actually went for it. Really, Charlie says, be careful. Really, Charlie says, be careful always with long distance relationships. And I know the flip side of it too. My first husband, we dated long distance, different states, right up until the time we even when we were engaged. So we never lived in the same state
Yep.
until we were married.
Yep.
And that turned out to be
Awful.
I realized what I had not seen
Awful.
before, but
Yes.
most of my relationships were fine. May also says, stay in a bad relationship, kids depending on the ages of the kids. So sometimes people stay because of kids. She says, hate to say it, a comfort zone That person knows your boundaries and needs, and they know you for years. Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I don't see it so much as I did when I was younger. So,
See
then
what as much.
well, people staying married for the kids. That's the reason. Once we get them off to college, we're done. But I can,
That's at least 18 what years?
yeah,
Like, oh my
yeah. But
gosh.
let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you all something about my life and how I grew up. Um, Growing up in my house and my two other siblings that grew up in the house. And I have one older brother that didn't grow up in the same house. But there was a lot of bad stuff going on. There was physical abuse, mental abuse, between my mother and father and all of that. And it was bad. It was bad. My father didn't stop beating up on my mother until my brother and I got old enough to stop him. I always felt they should have been divorced because it was like awful. Well, and it's weird because we've had good times growing up, but then we've had real bad times. So I always felt that they shouldn't have stayed together, let's say, for the kids. But check this out. Once we all moved out of the house, no more problems. They were
Really?
fine.
Or so you think.
Oh, I know because I lived down the street.
But you weren't there all the time. So behind closed doors.
Somebody, I'm not going to say whether was my mother or my father, but somebody or both of them changed once all of our kids were in. I could go to the house. Like I said, I lived down the street. I can go to the house at any time and I'd see them hugged up. I never saw my parents hugged up until I moved out the house.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I don't believe in staying for the kids. I just don't, because there's a lot of dysfunction going on when two people really probably should be divorced.
Well, based on what you're saying, kids often actually know what's going on.
Exactly. So I knew, and it messed me up. That's why I had so many bad relationships when I was growing up. It took a long time for me to learn how to be different, how not to be that. And Case, I was thinking about this today, and I have no reason why. But Jill, you and I, and I've told this story before. Some of you may have heard it, but Jill and I were married for several years, and I was snoring. I wasn't snoring on purpose, but I was snoring. And she'll nudge me, stop snoring, stop snoring. So I'd stop, but I fell right back to sleep, and I snored right in her ear. I was like,
oh, yeah. Well, you turned toward me and snored in my ear.
Yeah, and she thought I did it on purpose, but I didn't. I was asleep, and Jill got mad. She got really mad, and she screams, "That's it!" And she gets out the bed, and she's gonna storm off.
And you laughed.
I'm laughing.
He laughed at me, everybody. He just laughed.
I thought it was funny as all get out.
That's like telling someone to be calm when they're not. Like, it just made me madder.
I thought, yeah, and it did make her madder. And I said to Jill, "That's it? That's all you got?"
Which made me madder. Like, what do you mean?
But the deal is, that was actually my dysfunction, because I grew up with all of this violence and this and all of the profanity and all of this, loud cussing and everything 1 second, and the next second everybody's fine. So that was
And
my
I did not
dysfunction.
grow up in
And
that type
Jill
of
didn't,
household.
hey, if you're going to get mad at me, get really mad at me. But, it didn't phase me at all. I thought, oh, she's a lightweight. She doesn't know how to fight. But it was my dysfunction because of how I grew up. So I don't laugh when Jill gets mad anymore.
That's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
So in my case, I go back to my parents should have been divorced. They shouldn't have been together. Just created dysfunction and generations worth of dysfunction, and I don't wish that on anybody.
Nope.
Yeah.
So reasons to stay is what we're actually talking about.
Yeah, I know, but it keeps. Well, what I'm saying, that was not a good reason to stay. Well, we're married, we got kids, we got to raise our kids, and all of that. It wasn't a good reason to stay in a marriage. I even talked to my mother. I said, Mom, you have to leave him. Well, I can't. Where am I going to go? She would say.
We have Really Charlie on the stage. Welcome,
Hey,
Charlie.
Really Charlie.
What's going on? I'm trying to mute this TV. 1 second here.
Throw a rock at it.
Yeah.
Don't
Quiet
do that.
it right down.
Then I'll have to get a new one, a bigger one.
A good excuse, see? That'll work.
That's when I play baseball with the grandson in the house.
All right, yeah.
I think that some people stay, especially when I seen this when I was in California. Culturally, they stay together and don't want the embarrassment of separating. And that pressure from your family would make you go through these things,
That's very true. That's
yeah.
the reason I married my first husband, because I was not happy on our wedding day. But I looked around and I was like, well, there are 250 people who came here. I flew in for the wedding and they're all here. They're all waiting for me to walk down the aisle. But the music kept going, so I think people thought I wasn't going to walk down the aisle, but but I finally did.
You should have moonwalked out of there. Yeah, just do that.
My stepfather at the time offered to get me out of there. Just go the other way.
Alarm.
Yeah, that would have done it. Yeah.
Runaway bride. Should have ran away.
But yes, it was all because I would have been embarrassed to tell everyone, I don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. So I went through with it. But
I understand.
It was doomed from the start.
Yeah. But all of us kind of are like that. We get as we're growing up, our elders will tell us, well, you're a teenager, go out, have fun, date and stuff, then find a nice person, get married, have kids, and that's it. There's your life. They never tell you, and this was my problem, they never tell you that get married when you're ready to get married. Get married when you're mature enough to get married. Get married then. Don't rush it. Just, slow down.
And for some people, marriage is not the answer.
No. So
not everyone needs to get married.
Exactly.
Ever.
What do you mean ever, Jill? Come on.
Not everyone needs that, Well, they can have companionship without, the institution of marriage.
Yes, that is very, very true. That's very true. So, there's all types of relationships.
What did you say, Charlie?
I think the military owes a lot of people a lot of money because of their strenuous boot camps. And what happens is that men and women go through the boot camp, and then when they're finally out, they end up mingling with people in the service, and they think that's the greatest man or woman in the world just because of boot camp. And then shortly after, they get married, and then shortly after, they get divorced. And I've seen that so many times with the, you know, you stay, well, you're in the military, you go through boot camp, and now you're free from the boot camp, and then you go out and you meet people and think you met the most beautiful woman or man in the world, and then all of a sudden, let's get married. And they didn't have no opportunity to know each other other than, they had a good weekend or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it may be, and they get married. And then I see so many people divorce. It happened so many times in my lifetime. And especially on my other job, men and women coming on the job, and they would share those experiences that I got married after boot camp, and
Right.
and I got divorced shortly after that, So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you're right. And that gets back to, if I am honest with myself, I probably wasn't ready to get married until I was maybe 40 years old. And I had been married and divorced already. But as I look back at it, I wasn't ready to be married when I think the first time I got married, I was 24 years old. I wasn't ready. I can say that now, but yeah.
Your best marriage was when you decided that you wanted to go look at some books, but buy a CD.
That is true. That is very true. And honestly, I wasn't. Yeah, that was right. Like around when I met Jill. Before that, I wasn't ready.
I think I was ready the first time I got married. My picker was off.
Your picker sure was off. My picker's right on the money. That's what my picker is.
All right.
Yes,
nice
it
talking
is.
to you guys.
We love talking to you too.
All right.
Yeah, we sure do. We sure do. But this is an interesting evening because even though, like you just said, Jill, the topic is when to stay, but it seems that really we want to know when to leave. That's what we really want to know, when to leave.
Well, I think we're all agreeing on when you should leave. Because everything that our audience has, May and Charlie, that they brought up, we those are reasons to leave.
Yeah.
I'd also like to welcome Greg and Erica R. To the audience. They have been in for a little bit.
We're happy to see you here. We always, always, always love when we see new people come into the audience of this show. And I just want to thank all of you that are new to this show. It's just wonderful that you're here, and nice meeting you.
That's right. Charlie, did you want to say something else?
Yes, Gabby's new to Fireside. She was just on my show just a couple of hours ago. Just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, well, welcome, Gabby, to Fireside and to the show.
Welcome to Fireside.
Yay.
Well, that just made me think of stuff. I don't know if everyone in the audience heard the news yet, but now you can use an Android product to get on Fireside.
Yes. So now all devices work.
Yeah. So really, Charlie,
you just need to update your app.
Yes. So really, Charlie, all the guests that you were having problems with, your guests that didn't have iPhones, they can get on now with the device
and still, comment, go to video, everything that everyone can do.
Yeah,
So
so we might have more you know, people to interview on the
yeah,
show now
yeah. Now we don't have
because
to worry about that.
there were many people we were gonna
Yeah,
have
we're
on the
like,
show,
you're
but
like, no, not yet, but now we can.
yeah, it's just
Yay,
cool. It's
that is
just
cool.
really, really cool. This is excellent.
So, any other reasons why people should
Should
stay?
stay.
I
That's a
think
good
it's very
question.
important to understand that no one is perfect, including you, including us,
That's
right?
right.
So sometimes people make a mistake.
This
You
is
know, they
true.
weren't thinking, or there's some reason why they did what they did,
Yeah.
right? So in those cases, I think again, communication is key to if it's something that's not your deal breaker, but it's something that hurts you, let's
Mm-hmm.
say, talk about it. Talk about it. And if you're still, a lot of times when people the example you gave earlier was cheat, trust goes out the window.
Yeah.
So if you have no well, for me, if I can't trust you, then I'm not going to be in a relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, you'll be over there. I can love you from afar.
Oh, okay. I have another
But if
situation.
I do trust you and trust that
Mm.
the change is a one time, or that incident is a one time thing, then maybe there's a chance.
Okay, here's the question. What if your partner continuously does horrible things? Doesn't matter what it is, just these horrible, horrible things that would make you want to leave. But then you find out that your partner was diagnosed with some type of mental illness. What do you do then?
Well, I would hope that, well, you said a diagnosis, so they've sought help for this
Yes.
condition. Well, if you know that they're working on it, and you too understand how to be in a relationship with someone with that condition, so you might need help as well to talk,
Mm-hmm.
like someone to talk to about it, professional help. Then, I wouldn't leave some, in sickness and in health, I believe in. And so I wouldn't leave you if you were, diagnosed with.
I was diagnosed.
I'm the
with a
one that told you to
condition.
seek help.
Well, yes, I had been depressed, clinically depressed for most of my life. When you hear what type of house I grew up in,
But you didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I eventually got some help, and I was on medication. Actually, I was on medication when we met. They kept upping the meds, and they kept not working. So that's when Jill, I won't say on my case, Jill has just this wonderful voice. She said, "Sweetheart, you have to get some help. You have to get some help."
Are you gonna cry?
And then I cried. Like, okay. So that was good, but again, I wasn't. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jill. I never tried to take my depression out on Jill. Mostly it affected me, just me. So I was very good at hiding my depression. I was also, in trucking, so it was good for me to, be gone for days, to be gone for a month, to be gone for 2 months, 3 months. That was good.
Before me.
That was before Jill.
Yes.
But it was still okay because in the beginning, when, as I said earlier, we saw each other on the weekend.
But Charlie says help is important.
Yeah, help is important, and I did get some help. and eventually was able to get off the medication. And so I did therapy. Uh, I did some other things, meditation, things like that, and I was able to get off the meds.
Absolutely.
Haven't been on them since,
And
and
since
that's
we
been how many years now?
a lot,
Yeah,
at least 15, maybe. I don't know. A lot. At least 10 years.
yeah, probably, yeah.
And
Yeah,
since
somewhere.
we've been married, I found out that I had suppressed some PTSD issues that I wasn't aware that I had blocked, but it was affecting many things in my life. So I sought help, and you were there supporting me
hmm
then too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I want to backtrack. On the mental illness thing. So a person can be diagnosed. So they did awful, awful things. Then they got diagnosed, and then they decided, I'm not taking these meds.
Mm.
I'm not
That's
doing this.
Now that's
I'm not
difficult.
doing that. So, what do you do then? Is that still a reason to stay? I mean, because they did get some help, they did identify what the problem is, but do you still stay when the person doesn't take their meds on the regular? I mean, they don't want to do anything that they're supposed to be doing to help their mental illness. They don't want to go to therapy. They just want to keep on going like they've always gone.
Well, that's tough because again, I don't want to drop someone because of a mental health is medical as well. Um, but you have to want to help yourself and make it like I believe that good relationships involve people uplifting each other and enhancing
hmm
each other's lives. And if what you're not doing for yourself hinders the other person from living a life of quality and not having those frustrations,
hmm
then that needs to be addressed. And
Yeah.
depending on what it is, you may or may not be able to stay in that relationship, depending on what that condition is.
Yeah, that's true. But no, and I hate to be this way, and I'm going to put it so directly. But if you
Charlie says, "Call you Hall."
if you were diagnosed with, let's say, schizophrenia, and you sought help, and you got help, I'm right by your side. No way, all the time, right by your side, supporting you and what you're going through and all of that. But if you decided, nope, I'm not going to do anything I'm supposed to do to help my mental illness, I'm out.
That's a lot to handle without treatment.
I have to leave because these are things that we're not equipped to handle, unless we're a
And
psychiatrist or
that's the
something.
thing. That's the thing. I've had some friends, you know, try to make me their medical professional, and I am
Yeah, you are
not.
not.
I am not, and I think that's unfair to put that on somebody who isn't,
Yeah.
because I don't know how to help you. I
hmm
don't.
hmm Yeah, this is true. Well, we're almost at our end time, but before I end that out,
And really,
is
Charlie says the stress will burn you out. That's
yes,
true.
it
That's true.
will.
That's what happened in that case with my friend.
But does anyone want to speak, to say anything, or just to introduce yourself because we haven't seen you before? Just you can request to speak and just say hi.
And Stefan
We-
has entered the audience.
hey, Stefan! Yay! Everybody,
As well as Honey Child.
Honey Child. I love that. Hello, Honey Child.
I like that
shoot.
too. That's
Hey,
great.
Honey Child. Why doesn't she show up on mine?
You just passed her twice.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I can't see
We're
what
right
there.
there.
There she is. Hello, Honey Child. I love that. I love that she called herself that. That's excellent. Honey Child, you want to say hello? You want to request to speak and say hello? So I'm
And
very
for those
interested.
new to Fireside, the way that you request to speak is on your the lower left of your screen. There's a circle with an equal sign in it. If you click on that, it'll give you a drop down menu, and toward the top it says invite or request to speak.
Or there's two ways you can do this. You should see a little plus sign up by where we are. You can, and it says speakers. You can just press that and it will request. It'll give you a request to speak.
I'm not sure everyone can see that. I think you might have to be
Why
a
can't-
creator to speak to see it.
No, I use it all the time when
You're
I
a creator.
request. No, I mean to other people's shows.
You're a creator.
Oh,
I'm
can
not sure.
anybody else see that plus sign that says
That's not a creator
creator? You can clap if you can see it.
if you're not a creator.
And if you're new to Fireside and you don't know how to clap, one of
Oh.
those three emojis that go across the bottom, there's the clap sign, there is the
On the react button.
react button, happy sign, and all of that, and the party sound. Or you can hit the react button and it'll pull up emojis and you can press that and then press send. But yeah, there's several things you can do. But everybody's quiet tonight. Except really Charlie.
And May wrote some things when she was here.
May wrote some great things.
Yep.
She should be a writer.
Yep.
Yeah, well, May should be
See, I'm not the only one that
writer.
makes turn people into writers.
Well, some people, even though I write, poetry, and I was working on a novel, which I'll go back to one day. But the physical act of writing, I don't like that too much.
That's funny.
It is kind
Really,
of funny.
Charlie, you're on the stage.
It's also quiet because Chris and Monica are not here.
You are probably right. You are probably right.
Now we have to say something to Monica. She kept saying, "Come to my show, come to my show." We come to her show, and she doesn't. It's the one time she doesn't come to ours.
But she came to your show,
She did come to my show,
which
she
she hadn't
did.
done before.
She
So-
did.
So that's cool. I'm not holding that against her. That's cool.
I guess she knew you weren't going to do your dance tonight.
Monica was trying to get me to dance on the table
Striptease.
in Speedos. Y'all don't want that. Let me tell you. No, you do not want that. All right. So
Well, it's
do
the
we-
top of the hour. We should close it out.
All right. I'm ready. I'm on it. But I don't want that. I want this one. There we go. We're back.
Okay. Well, the song that you're listening to, shout out to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for composing it and letting us use it. Thank you all, audience, for being here.
Yes.
And thank you for co-hosting with me.
You're welcome. No problem. I'll do this for you once a week. Every Wednesday.
Every
at
Wednesday
8
night,
o'clock.
you'll do this with me?
Oh, and I forgot to mention these things we need to mention. My show, Double PFR, Poetic People Fighting Racism, is coming up this Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And the topic of that show is justified killings. Justified killings. Well, I hope you all check that out and come and contribute. Because when you come to my show, you're becoming an everyday activist. So please come. I would love to see you all again.
It's a safe space.
Yes, and it's a very safe place. You see, I'm a nice guy, I'm not the angry black man.
He's the man about love.
Yes, I am all about love. And I really do. I love everyone in the audience.
I do
Even though
too.
I haven't met you yet, I have love for you. So I'm glad. I'm really happy. All the new faces that are in the audience, and I would really love to see them all again. And it doesn't have to be in my Saturday show,
It could be this one
Could
next
be this
week.
one. Yeah, it could be your show. Wait with me, which is great. But we're all positive. Positive things, spreading love, be positive, love each other, and the world can be a better place.
That's right.
Yep. All right, so we're going to close this thing out, Jill?
Sure.
All right. Again, love you all. Hope to see you again soon. I'm going to turn off video, but I'm still here because I don't want to leave you all, but I have to go. So love you all.
Love you all.
And take care. Till next time.